Welcome back to the Kitchen Sports Network. I'm your host, Richard Falascio.
And I am Frenchie Baguette. Dick, it is a pleasure to be here. How are you feeling tonight?
Pleasure to join you too, Frenchie. I'm feeling great. Excited about this 2025 fantasy football season with the Phillips Dynasty Football League. Got some great competitors that we're going to be talking about tonight.
Yes, all 14 teams are returning for another run at the coveted championship ring.
Yeah, should be an exciting time. Let's start you off with our teams from the West.
Samuel McMaster, Stillwater 12s. I give it 3 weeks before I make a questionable trade.
Sean, the fantasy football team.
Pasquale Romano, King's College, Raleigh, North Carolina. The goated Romano Cheeseheads. Go Pack Go.
Lizard, 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 lizard.
Cody Romano, Newton, New Jersey. Team name is right in the coots. Giants country. Let's ride.
Goose Goobers, Team Andrews Luck, Dog Pound State Correctional. Grrr.
The Commissioner, Team McMaster Bait and Tackle, Eastern State Penitentiary, Correctional and Stamping College.
And wow, what a loaded Western Conference, Frenchie. Starting off with six championships out of those 7 teams, with a previous champion 2 years ago in the Stillwater 12s.
Yes, the Stillwater 12s. The Stillwater 12s they've been around for a long time, a struggling team until a clutch win in 2023 when interviewed during that historic 2023 season. He was said to say that he was going to do things like set a roster and pay attention.
Wow.
Dick, these are incredible strategies that will only lead to future success.
Yeah. Unfortunately, though, he may be no match for the next team on our list, the fantasy football team. Previous winner and also Christian Michael McCaffrey, probably not his name, owner. He's also the only team that has ever had Tyreek Hill on the roster besides the Miami PD. He looks to use a rebound season, placing second to last year, to hopefully come back and give it a second run this season. But he's going to have to go up against another former champion.
That's right. Team Goated Romano Cheeseheads. Another previous champion. The only team owner who refuses to set a consistent name.
That is a bit of a concern, isn't it? But not like our next team, who finally did get with the program in the Carolina Northerners. Ironically, not from the northern part of Carolina at all, but the southern Northern Carolina area. Team Carolina Northerners is also a previous champion. Again, like we said, this is a loaded Western Conference. Very strong, very powerful. Looking to repeat again. Few years passed since his last level of success, but looks to do it with questionable trade value and maybe some interesting negotiation techniques, wouldn't you say?
Interesting to say the least. It is always entertaining to see the trade offers that come in.
But if we're talking about somebody that's really good with a loose throat, that doesn't bring us to our next team.
That's right. Team 2 Girls, 1 Cup. One of 2 expansion teams. 2 expansion teams that came into the league, I believe, 2 seasons ago. Early success for this team was limited by actual football being played at Penn State.
That is quite the anomaly there, Frenchie. But that brings us to kind of our hard luck Chuck team and Andrews Luck, who has had nothing but a bad luck streak when it comes to injuries and player injuries. One of the original owners of Andrew Luck himself, who decided to just peace out halfway through the season.
Unfortunate.
Yeah. He also uses a very bold technique of having no clue what's going on in the football world, Tom. So we'll have to see how that plays out, especially when he's facing former champions in his division like our next team.
That's true. McMaster Bait and Tackle rounding out our Western Conference here. This is the team owned by our lead commissioner. He is an individual and co-champion. One thing he's shown success in over the last every season. He's great at hitting big on the right rookies at the right time. He does struggle at times with holding on to those rookies, choosing instead to use them as trade bait for finding more and more rookies.
Well, as a Richard myself, it is quite possibly hard to hold on to things, let me tell you. But that doesn't leave out our Eastern Conference teams coming at you next.
Jimmy Rigatoni, Team MRQ. Witness protection, forget about it.
AC Slater's mullet, Bayside High, go Cougars.
Nicholas, no middle name Conti, Greer, South Carolina.
Joe Salamone, Team Maximum Side Move, middle of a fucking field!
Patrick from Patrick's Mahomies, here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Fred McMahon, one of the Jersey Raptors, on site of our training facility in Eula Nublar.
Dylan McMaster, Wing Gap Warhogs, straight from the couch to the top of the leaderboards.
And that'll conclude our teams from the East. Frenchie, what'd you think?
I would like to just say that, yes, while we do have 6 champions from the Western Conference, we do have 5 championships here in the East. And, I think we should probably break them down. Where would you like to start?
Well, I think we need to start with a team that's not won a championship, but has used an incredibly bold strategy of almost no involvement over the past 11 years.
That's a bold strategy, Dick. Let's see how it plays out.
It is a huge strategy as far as Dick's concerned. But no trades and the absolute minimum amount of league involvement over 11 years. But Mr. Q is looking to finally rebound, maybe, just maybe, move on from Nick Chubb, drafted 11 years ago, and win a championship. But we'll see. He's got to go up against a previous 2-time champion that I think you're going to tell us about next.
Yes, insert generic name here, an individual and co-champion. This is actually the only team in our league's now 11-year history to go from last to first. In an impressive rebuild draft year. I want to say that was 3 seasons ago.
3 seasons sounds like sure is a number, Frenchie. But let me tell you, he's got tough competition going up against former teams like AC Slater's mullet out of Bayside High. Go Cougars. But despite his name, he does seem to sport an incredible lack of hair, if I'm not being honest,
That is very true.
But he does spend an incredible 35 hours a day researching fantasy football. When you got that kind of time.
As you do.
You have to have a good team. But does it pit him up against our next team?
No, our next team, Patrick's Mahomies. Patrick Mahomies, it is possible that the team owner is not a real human being.
Lizard.
I've heard rumors of that, Frenchie.
All right. He has been recorded as saying things like, fuck them picks.
Well, those are some strong words coming from a team owner. But if there is one guy we have to talk about, that is Team Maximum Side Boob. Previous league winner, lately has been kind of a middling team. Seems to always be on the fence. Can't quite decide if he wants to be good or not good. He is kind of the king of, maybe I'll go for it, maybe I won't, but I'm not really sure. But he does have a chance, and the one thing you have to say for him, he has never missed a playoff, even if he is eliminated in the first round. Frenchie, I'm going to kick you to the next team. Who do you got?
The Jersey Raptors. Jersey Raptors, owned by our league stats guy and mathematician. Little known fact about the owner of the Jersey Raptors, Fred McMahon. One of the friendlier players and owners, he is the owner of the Miss Congeniality Award here in our league.
Oh, how gay of him. That is quite the accomplishment? That sounds like a word. Let's go with that one. But we would be remiss if we didn't talk about our defending champion this year, the Wing Gap Warthogs. He used an incredibly bold strategy there, Frenchie, of just eliminating his entire team. One of our expansion teams, of course, of the 2 getting us to 14. He looks to be the first ever to possibly repeat this year. What are your thoughts on that?
I do not want to see anybody repeat ever. I think one of the most impressive things about our league, Dick, is that we have had different winners every year.
Dick loves seeing new things, so let me tell you, it'd be a shame if he did win it again. But I think we're going to have to show some highlights of a couple of these teams from previous years past. But first, we cut to a commercial with our sponsor, Tony Casher Seasoning.
Tony Katra seasoning. Use it on food. Use it in the shower. Great for washing your car. Perfect for babysitting the kids.
Yes, Tony Cash.
Even find it in bed with your wife. Tony Katras. Great seasoning that does it all, including take over your family.
All right, as we get into some of the highlights of years past, we'll start back in 2022 with a pretty non-normal celebration training here. You can see Team Jersey Raptors goes into the spike, right into the waddle. Great form, nice hip movement. He's got a nice straight spine. Looks like it's a pretty good use of the body.
It is, and if you continue to roll forward here, you can see all the power generated from the hips and the pelvis region.
Yeah, great clip there for that one.
Though probably not as impressive as our next clip here. Here we see team owner Cody Romano preparing a celebration of his own. Good penetration there, good penetration to the can, polished and perfected form.
Yeah, you can see as he works for a nice clean entry into the bottom of the can, cradling it in a nice angle that's going to maximize this opportunity coming up. It's going to give him the perfect use so he can pop it at a nice clean entry here into the bottom of the can and goes into a full extension up into the top.
Yeah, but if you pay attention right here, you see the real full expansion of the throat, allowing him for maximum flow.
Yeah, that does make him quite the goat of the throat, if you don't mind me saying.
Indeed. Those are some pretty impressive highlights there, Dick.
Yeah, I don't know if Dick's ever been this hard from watching that kind of action on screen there, Frenchie. But this will conclude our wrap-up of the 2025 Point Phillips fantasy football season. Frenchie, what are your final thoughts on our competitors this year?
Final thoughts are that I wish everybody a successful draft and a successful season.
Well, with that being said, we'd like to thank you for joining us on the ASN or KSN, Kitchen Sports Network. We don't even know who we are, but we'd like to thank you for joining us. And you know what? We'll sign off with saying, fuck you, Point Phillips. This episode of KSN was filmed in front of a live studio audience.